Welcome everyone to the first ever 100 special OCBL pair hosted by BridgeChamp. I am going to be taking you through all of the action today. I'm BradyBot. Welcome to a Matchpoint event. 6 rounds, 3 boards each, 18 boards total. It is 7 minutes a board, so the players are going to have to play very quickly if they want a chance to earn one of the top 3 spots in the tournament. 3 prizes pay out, 50 euros to first place, and everyone's going to be competing for that prize. We got about 30 pairs that have joined the event, and we are moments away from getting started. I'm excited to check out what these players have brought to the table, and hopefully you're excited to join me as well as I take you along on this journey. Taking a look at our competitors list, currently we have quite a few players who have been playing together for quite some time. Maggie Nunbelt playing with one of her regular partners here. I'm not exactly sure username-wise who everyone is, but we have Draver Bridge. I believe that's Tom Draver. But quite a few players are actually going to be hoping to win the full prize for themselves today, playing with ChampBot, one of the bots on the website. The tournament has just gotten underway, and let's tune in to hopefully a table of all people, because that's a lot more fun to watch. We'll be jumping around the room a little bit, as always with some of these broadcasts, to get a look at all of the competitors as they are playing through the event and trying their best to fight for every over trick, every part score battle, bid up to games, slams. We'll see all of that throughout these 18 boards. First hand, getting started, North is the dealer, and they have quite a nice distributional hand, but one of the things they're lacking is the spade suit, and I do believe that East-West might be able to steal the auction away from North-South on this one if they do manage to find that spade fit. We'll see how high each side gets as we get underway on this first board, looking like a heart, a spade overcall, and then South and West with so few values and no fits for their partner. Well, South has no fit for their partner. West has a little bit of a spade fit, but just a 4-3-3 hand with 3 high card points might be a little bit pressed to find a raise, but I think that North and East are going to take over the auction, and with spades being higher than hearts, we all know where that ends up. Looks like our players are a little bit slow to get started. Let's check out a different table who might be well underway already. Yes, here we are. A heart opening. We actually get a takeout double from East with the 17 count. Judges the hand a little bit too strong to overcall at just the 1 level. Normally those bids tend to be around 8 to 17 high card points, so this hand would be an absolute maximum. And with such a solid spade suit, good outside cards, aces and kings, no wasted values, and shortness of the opponent's suit, this makes a lot of sense. So after South bids a no trump with their hand, no one vulnerable at match points is the type of situation where you do want to be competing, of course. So South gets in there with the 7 count. 3 heart jump from North, given that spade void, trying to freeze East-West out of the auction, but East knows all too well that they need to get their spades in. 3 spades, which actually gets passed. And North, thinking about balancing once again over the 3 spade call, elects to just sit for it. So a missed opportunity, certainly for North-South to compete to the 4 level, which I think would have been probably the right thing to do in either red suit, given the favorable distribution, 3-2 hearts, 3-3 clubs. But also East-West just being allowed to play in 3 spades. There's a couple of diamonds to lose, there's a heart and a club, but 3 spades is going to come home. So good judgment by East-West all around to stay at the 3 level, stay safe, although they probably would have saved in 4 spades if given the chance. So after 3 rounds of diamonds, a diamond gets roughed and Declare can just pull trumps, knock out the club ace, and claim their 9 tricks. I think this is going to be a very fast hand from here. I think we will see a claim momentarily. Sometimes it's a good idea to try and play these hands out in the case that your opponents might end up losing a trick or making your life easier at the end of play. But for a hand like this, where all you have to do is knock out the club ace, I do think Declare is just going to pull trumps, and we'll see the claim button. We'll leave them to it. Let's jump around the room and see if some of the other tables might have gotten to a different contract. Yeah, East-West here ending up in 4 spades. We didn't get to see the auction on this board, but taking a look around the room, we have 2 spades East-West. Actually very fascinating. We'll take a look at the bidding here. Looks like all of the Easts, at least so far that we've seen, have elected to double originally with their hand. Same one no trump bid by South in many rooms. A lot of pairs will be playing transfers in this situation, so I think we might see a lot of pairs on the South cards bid 2 diamonds instead of a no trump to show or 2 clubs, I'm sorry, instead of a no trump to show the diamond suit. But North being ultra conservative here with the spade void just lets 2 spades go. So another possibility for a big result East-West. And it looks like they're probably going to come to the same 9 tricks as we saw at the other table. We'll keep looking around the room, checking in on all of the tables. Oh my, this table got a bit overboard. So we've seen 2 spades and 3 spades so far. We've also seen 4 spades. This time North-South bid all the way up to 5 hearts. A heart, a spade. So different choice on the East cards here. South frozen out, as was West, and North balanced back in with 2 hearts. Then East decided to come back with 2 spades, a massive underbid with their maximum overcall already. Many pairs would prefer a takeout double here as East to show the extra values or even to jump to 3 spades. But East competed all the way up to 3 spades, and then over 4 hearts, West finally came to life with their 4-card spade support, bidding 4 spades, which coaxed North-South into 5 hearts. They got doubled, but 5 hearts doubled ended up making because East-West didn't get their clubs going fast enough. Look at that. A spade opening lead, and North gets to ruff, knock out the heart ace, and then the diamonds will just run to pitch 2 clubs. So huge result there for North-South. And I think we might even see more of those around the room. Let's tune in. One more table in the midst of this auction. A heart takeout double. This time South didn't find a call. I think a little bit of an error here, non-vulnerable at match points. You absolutely want to be pushing for competitive action in a lot of these positions, and passing with 7 highs when your partner opened the bidding tends to be a way to get your side stolen from. South does kind of bid back in with 3 diamonds here once the opponents have reached 2 spades. And this might wake North up because North thought that this wasn't their hand anymore, with partner not being able to take a call over the takeout double. But now the 3 diamond bid comes in. North has a spade void and the opponent's suit does have a diamond fit. Maybe North is going to be willing to push this a little bit and bid 4 diamonds or even 3 spades here to show a good hand in support of partner's suit. We'll stick around here for just a second. I do want to move on to board 2 though and get a glimpse of that before we waste too much time on the first board of the set, although this was a very interesting one to start out the day. So what is North going to do? Again, time control on these matches. It's 7 minutes a board. You have to bid and play quickly. You can't be thinking for this long in positions like this. North has to make a decision. I'm not really sure what the holdup is. We'll give them another few seconds, but we might end up jumping around to another table and take a look at the next board. Yeah, I think we'll just go ahead and do that. Let's pop into, I know we do have ChampBot playing here, but actually this is the 3rd board of the set, surprisingly. This table is blowing through the pace of play. They're almost done with 10 minutes to spare in the round. South opened a weak 2 diamonds on a 10 count like this. I think a lot of players would be tempted to open a diamond, 6-4, all aces and kings. But this did result in East-West being allowed to play 3 hearts because North didn't know that their partner had such a strong hand over here with 10 high card points. Otherwise, North-South might have doubled, might have competed to 3 spades possibly with the good 5-card spade suit. It looks like East-West are going to be doing okay. There's a couple of clubs still to lose, but the diamond suit can get picked up. That ace, queen, 9 of diamonds and the king, 10, 8, 6th in South, not good enough to produce a trick on defense. So Declare can just pull trumps from here and knock out 2 clubs. And it looks like East-West are actually going to make 4. They make an over trick at this point. I do wonder if that's going to be a good result. Generally, plus scores at match points are pretty good if you can get them. But here, a possible missed game, as well as the fact that due to the unfortunate distribution and weak diamond suit from South, if North-South play this on offense, they could easily get doubled and go for 300 or more. So we'll take a look around the room. I'm interested in checking out board 2, which it looks like we are just getting started with at this table. So we'll focus in on the auction here. Another big hand for East-West. This time they have a big diamond fit. And with that queen of hearts on side, I guess they don't even need it with the clubs running to pitch a heart. 6 diamonds is absolutely cold on these East-West cards. Technically 6 clubs as well, if they do happen to get there, but that would be an unusual result. But we'll see how the auction starts. It is a 14 count for East, unbalanced. I think most players would just open this a diamond, planning to rebid 2 diamonds, not giving full weight to that singleton queen. But opening a no trump on a hand like this has a lot going for it. It can protect that singleton queen from an opening lead. If your partner has king third or ace third or something over there, you might just steal a trick with it when a defender leads away from their honor. If you rebid 2 diamonds, open a diamond, rebid 2 diamonds with the 6-card suit, generally your partner's going to play you for like 11 or 12 high card points, and you have a lot more than that with an excellent 6-card suit needing just a finesse to bring it home for 6 tricks most of the time, as well as an outside ace and the grand total of 14 high card points, as well as that 10-9 third of hearts, which counts for a little bit of something. Might be a little bit rich for the 2 diamond rebid. Of course, sometimes you have a maximum for your actions, right? The 2 diamond bid probably somewhere in the range of 11 to 15 with a 6-card diamond suit, or 10 to 15. And sometimes you just do have the absolute maximum for your action. South with a 10 count stiff diamond actually does come in with a takeout double over the opening bid. I think we might even see quite a few choices on the South cards around the room. Generally 5-4 in the majors, you want to overcall your 5-card major. So we will see 1 heart overcalls from South, absolutely. We will see 1 spade overcalls from some Souths, preferring to bid their stronger suit as a potential lead direct in situations like this. Takeout double is going to be among the choices, as well as pass, unfavorable. Your 5-card major is very bad. Some players don't like overcalling a 4-card major in spots like this. Takeout doubles tend to show close to an opening hand, and South's hand doesn't really qualify. I don't think most players would open this hand unfavorable in first seat, despite the 5-4 in the majors and some good spot cards. So there's a whole lot of options for South. This one has chosen the takeout double. West bids a heart, and North actually passes. Some players might even prefer on the North cards to stick in a 3-spade preemptive jump. 1 spade would show some values, 2 spades would show more values, and then depending on where you come from in the world, I'm an American, for us 3 spades would be preemptive, not an even stronger hand than 2 spades, but I know that that's not universally accepted among all bridge players. But North passes, so not putting a ton of pressure on East-West. East can rebid 2 diamonds, or East could rebid 2 hearts with the 3-card support, assuming you have that partnership agreement. Many pairs will play a spiral scan here So 2 hearts pass, 2 no trump, or 2 spades for... Oh, no! Well, that's going to be a disappointment for East-West, assuming this ends the auction. There's no reason for South to come back in, of course. South bidding again would show way too many values, and South is thrilled to have the opponents playing in his 5-card heart suit here. So North unable to act over a heart. South should know that the opponents have had a bit of a misunderstanding here. So we'll see. I'm going to stick around because I am noticing in the webcam here that South is thinking about taking a call, and this would be a big error. You could just win the board immediately. Nope. Great decision from South. It does sit it out. A spade opening lead, and of course, West is going to be obviously disappointed in the final result, so as will East on this hand. These 1 levels after a takeout double, most players play them forcing nowadays, but it is not always the case that you and your partner are on the same wavelength. So something to discuss, of course. So we'll see how things progress on this hand, but for now, let's jump into a different table, take a look at board, see if we can get some more of board 2 in, or even board 3. It looks like we're in the midst of the auction here. South passed in first seat with the 10 count. We already saw 2 diamond preempt on this hand from ChampBot earlier. West opened 2 hearts, which for them is intermediate, 10 to 13 high card points, a maximum, but a pretty weak trump suit. So I of course, if that's your system, I love the classification of this hand as West into 2 hearts, 2 spade overcall, East deciding to raise to 3 hearts with the 3-card support, King, Queen, third, not much outside, but felt competitive, and South eventually ends up doubling 4 hearts on the power of their partner's 2 spade overcall and 3 spade balance, showing some values over here. Unfortunately, North-South may well be disappointed with the overall result. Now, Declarer does need to be careful at how they manage the play, because on 2 rounds of spades, Declarer can ruff, but not knowing that South has all of these diamonds, Declarer might try and knock out the ace-king of clubs, pitch a diamond, planning to ruff the 3rd round of diamonds in the East hand. So a line of play might be lead the queen of clubs, South will get in. Let's say South plays back a trump, you win the 10, you play another club, South gets in again, plays a 3rd club, you win, pitch a diamond, but now you cross in trumps, find the trumps don't split, and go jack of diamonds, king, ace, queen of diamonds, hoping that North follows so that you can ruff the 3rd round in dummy. Ruff a spade back to hand to make the contract. That's not going to work out today. Diamonds are, in fact, 6-1. So North would be able to ruff the 2nd round of diamonds and defeat the contract this way. Now, as things played out, the South elected to ruff partner's 2nd round of spades. I'm not exactly sure why. With their small trump, it did get over-ruffed, but now South has actually elected to switch to diamonds, and this makes Declarer's life a lot easier. Now can win the jack of diamonds, pull 2 more rounds of trumps, ending in the East hand, and then take a diamond finesse. And that's exactly what Declarer is doing. So a bit of a gamble from South, switching to diamonds, looking at that jack and dummy. And I think there was a real chance that 4 hearts would have gone down if South had defended a little bit more passively. But we'll take a look maybe at this Traveler for this hand after the round and see where everyone landed on this board. These match point decisions are very tough. I was paying attention to the webcam, see if West have batted an eye about the singleton diamond from North. No emotion whatsoever. West is focused in on the hand, has the rest of the tricks, and we should see a claim in a minute. So 4 hearts doubled, making 4. Huge result for East-West on this board, because we already saw one table missed game, and even if you get to game, there's no guarantee North-South are going to double you or go after it. And then even once that happens, there's no guarantee that North-South are going to let it make or give to Claire such an easy ride by giving them the diamond finesse like this. So let's hop around. There are still a handful of tables that are in the midst of playing these final boards. Let's continue taking a look. The final board of this round, four spades doubled in the north. And look at this. So that 5-card spade suit that I had mentioned earlier, North might be competing quite a bit. We saw many tables get up to 3 spades, but this is the first time we've seen a table get up to 4 spades. They are technically correct that 4 hearts was making, and this is going to be a favorable save, but a lot of damage has already been done. So East going to get in with one more trump trick eventually here. And it looks like also the King of Diamonds will score a trick at the end of play for Declare. So this is going to be 2 down in 4 spades doubled, plus 300. It beats the value of any part scores that were bid East-West, but obviously does not make up for their potential game in hearts. So this will probably be a little bit of a middle of the field result here. 4 spades doubled for 300. We do see in the top right, actually, the scores are updating as more and more tables finish play on some of these hands. Hopefully we'll be able to follow all of the players throughout the event, take a look at where their match point scores reside. And yes, 4 spades doubled down 2. Looks like a little bit of a better result for East-West than for North-South. But we can pull up the results on this final board here and take a look through. So 5 clubs down 1 in the South, 4 diamonds down 2 in the South, a couple of North-Souths getting away undoubled on this hand, several pairs ending up in 3 hearts, as we can see. 4 spades doubled down 2 was, in fact, exactly a 50% result on this hand because about half the field did bid a game. Many of them made it. No one so far has gone down in 4 hearts, which is a little surprising to me, although I guess it does make sense, especially if a lot of Norths give the show away with a diamond switch at some point in time. But we'll keep an eye on how some of these pairs do end up. The round is almost over. Let's check back in. We still have a couple of tables in play. We'll tune into one more that is just getting finished with 4 hearts here. And it looks like... oh, this is only the second board. This table is in a lot of trouble. So I don't know what happened here, why we were so slow, but they are going to have to pick up the pace if they want to finish all 18 of these boards on time. So hopefully the tournament directors can inform them that they are, as you would do at a normal face-to-face tournament, just let them know that they need to pick up the pace. There is a round clock in the top right, and we may get whisked away at any moment into the next segment, but 76% for East-West already. We're about to start with the second round. Let's take a look currently at where... oh, I was hoping that we could get a ranking list. Not yet. Not yet, unfortunately. Hopefully that will get updated as we progress. We would like to see who is currently winning. Let's tune into a new table as we start the round. North has a big hand, 20 highs. For most pairs, this might fall into their 2-no trump opener, although a lot of Italians might stick this bid into a 2-club opening bid. That has become a lot more popular in that area of the world nowadays. We'll see if we can catch some of those auctions. Those auctions are a lot of fun to watch because you start an entire level lower than most of the field, and you have ways to sign off, you have ways to investigate 4-card majors, 5-card majors, just about anything from opener. Wow, 2-no trump, all pass. I think a bit of an underbid on the South cards with an ace opposite your partner's 2-no trump bid. You tend to just believe that that might be enough. That one entry could be the crucial card for partner to take a finesse or get to your hand to cash a long suit or a long card in either, say, spades or clubs that you've established. So this time around, it looks like South has done the right thing. North has a pretty poor 20 count, 4-3-3 with not too much shape in the hand. And couple that with the fact that while you do have a 4-4 spade fit, the hands are mirrored, and there's a bad trump split. 4-1 spades with that 10-4 of spades offside, singleton, jack, and west. This is going to be a good result for North-South, I believe, in this field. I think most Souths are going to end up raising to game here, which in a vacuum might be the right thing to do with an ace. But this time, it is not going to work out for them. So Declare tries a second spade, realizes the futility of, tries a third spade. That's very surprising. You had that major 10 and then just exits to East. I can't follow what's happening anymore. I'm sorry. Play's going too fast, which it should. I appreciate that play is going very quickly. But that is a very surprising decision, given that you could have just held on to those spades. Maybe at a later point in time, you could exit to East at the end of the hand. Like if East retains that King of Hearts forever, you could throw them in at the end of play and get a spade lead into that Queen 9 to score an extra trick. And in the meantime, Declare actually could have set up clubs themselves. Could have just gone Ace King of Clubs and a club and set up that fourth round of clubs with that Ace of Hearts as an entry. So it looks like Declare is continuing after a club switch goes into the ace, elects to run the Jack of Hearts around to West Queen, who I think is very likely to just push a club back through. West having pitched all of their diamonds, a little bit surprising, coming down to this King 10 doubleton. So club comes through to the 10 and Jack. And now East in decides to switch to a low diamond, so East-West are going to get a couple of diamond tricks from here. But now East is in fact end played. West needed to push a heart through to kill that entry to the long club. Now Declare can just pitch a heart, win the Jack of Diamonds, unblock the Club King, cross in hearts, and the 9 of clubs will be good. So 2 no trump makes 2. Again, I think this is going to be a monster result for North-South in this field. The percentages have reset for every round. So both these pairs, this is just the round score, their percentage. But yeah, 100% of the match points for North-South on this hand. No surprise. Let's tune into some of the other tables, see if we can catch a quick glimpse of what's happening on this very first board. 4 spades in the North. No surprise that this is going to be a common contract at many tables here. And despite the clubs splitting, the spades do not. Looks like Declare is being extra careful about how they handle the play, though. Cashed 2 spades, found out about the bad split, did not pull a third round of trumps. And now that Jack of Diamonds is set up, a heart is going to go away. There is unlikely to be any sort of end play against East to lead away from that 10 of spades, but the contract is already going to go down at least 1 trick, and it looks like down 2 is somewhat likely. Diamond comes back to the Jack. Declare can pitch a heart. Maybe... Yeah, I was going to say maybe Declare can try and finagle for East to win a heart trick, but of course East is always going to have a safe exit card. There's just no way to throw East in after 3 rounds of hearts. Declare doesn't have enough winners to do that. And so that 10 of spades is going to score a trick as well as one of the East-West heart honors. This will just be down 2. And no surprise that I think this is going to be a relatively flat board across the field, but that one table bidding and making 2 no trump or staying low ends up winning the board for their side. So we'll take a quick look at what percentage 4 spades down 2 scores according to how many pairs have already played it. I suspect it's going to be in the 40s because I think it's going to be a very common result. Declare plays a heart to the ace. Just kind of sticking around to see the percentage that we're going to get on this one rather than Opening up the results page and taking a look. So heart runs around to the 9. East can get out the heart king, and the 10 of spades will take the last trick for 2 down. Minus 200, not the score you really want to be seeing at match points or writing on your scorecard, but sometimes this happens. Your minimum, your partner's minimum, you reach a game, and then everything splits badly for you. A bit of a problem at the end of the day. So we'll head to a different table, take a look at the final result. Wow, 23%. I'm a little bit surprised, but maybe that's because East-West ended up getting all their tricks here. We'll hop back around, though, take a look at some of the other players in play. Let's head over here to this room where they're just getting started with board 5. Another 2-no trump opener we see. This one a 19 count, but East with all aces and kings, excellent 5-card suit, some good spot cards, and these 9s very much within the picture for the 2-no opener. Now this is a pass. This 1 count, definitely a pass. I think you could get away with bidding 3 clubs, though, if you're playing it as regular Stamen. You bid 3 clubs, you kind of have the perfect hand type for it, with short clubs, a 5-card diamond suit, importantly, and at least 3-card support for both majors in case your partner bids a 4-card suit there. So in this exact example where East is 3-3-2-5 in shape, you end up playing a 5-2 diamond fit. But I think it is somewhat likely, if many of the East pairs end up opening 2-no trump on their hand, a lot of Wests are going to take this opportunity to make a garbage Stamen over 2-no. A bit of an unusual choice, but it can work out with the similar type hand. So as things are, it looks like Declare is actually doing okay in this contract, especially after that diamond opening lead and then South ducked a diamond, giving Declare a dummy entry. The Jack of Hearts is set up. South elects to cash the diamond queen, but now South is once again end played. Declare can pitch a spade, and South doesn't know it, but South is out of clubs. Or Declare doesn't know it, but South is out of clubs. So there's no way for South to profitably exit into East's hand. South could exit a heart, leading away from their 10, or exit a spade, leading away from their ace, which I think, going back to this play of heart to the king, South should pause and give that a little bit of thought and elect to duck that trick. If you don't want to be on lead, sometimes you don't have to be. There are ways to avoid retaining the lead. But Declare in, all the dummies diamonds are set up, stranded, but the opponent's spades split, Queen Doubleton opposite Ace Doubleton remaining. Declare can knock out the club king. Oh, elects to set up all of South's hearts. Oh no! Another missed opportunity. Declare could have continued by knocking out the queen of clubs. They have all of the missing club spots. And then they would have retained the Jack of Hearts as an entry to their hand to cash all of their club winners at the end of play. But instead, they're just cashing out. Very dangerous. And I don't think there was any reason to do this. There was no danger in just exiting in clubs. Even if the opponent's spades split somewhat unfavorably, if they were 3-1, fine. You can pitch away the 9 of hearts, which was never going to take a trick anyway, and you can pitch away the club winner that you just established, and you would still get your 7 tricks that they're going to take right here. So a bit of an error. We can even exit the Jack of clubs now to retain 3 of a kind and 9s, which is somewhat visually appealing, but doesn't help you out in the bridge sense. You don't get any extra tricks for ending with 3 9s in your hand in the play. So North-South are going to have the rest of the tricks from here, and this is going to be 2-no trump down 1. It looked like Declare had gotten off to an excellent start, but ultimately fell from grace at the end of play there. So 10 of hearts can cash to pitch the 8 of clubs, and the queen of spades will take the last trick. Wow. I still think this is going to be a decent result for East-West. Several pairs are going to play 3 diamonds, and it looks like that contract might not do all that well given the 5-1 diamond split. But let's hop around, check out a different table over here. We'll zoom in on this one. I'm trying to get a bunch of new players on screen that we haven't seen yet before. We're on the final board of the set, board 6, taking a look. South opens a diamond. We have a 15 count over there. North bids 2 hearts with 14. I'm wondering what their agreements are in this case. Normally, you would be alerting this bid because it's unusual to play at anything other than weak in spots like this. But we'll see how North-South proceed in this auction. It looks like a 3 no trump contract is probably going to be where they settle, and that's exactly it. North bids 3 no. The diamonds do run, kind of. Declare is going to need to be a little bit careful about how they manage their entries, though, because on a spade... Oh, no. The 3 of spades lead? Uh-oh. We want to be leading from that spade sequence. Queen, Jack, 10, 9. Oopsies. Yeah, attitude leads, but you still want to lead your honor sequences if you have them. So the 5-0 diamond split does cause a little bit of trouble for Declare. They're going to have to unblock the King, Jack of diamonds here, playing low from the south hand twice, and then use that ace of spades as an entry to get over there. But with the King of spades retained in the north hand, I think Declare is going to be very pleased about how this hand has turned out. And then as play concludes, Declare is going to have a couple of options. It does make some sense to exit the Heart Queen, setting up the King of Hearts in the north hand, of course, conditional on what East-West discard. But Declare could also try the Club Finesse if they're feeling a little bit more greedy. And we'll see if that ends up happening as play pans out. So Declare can pitch 1 more heart on the 10 of diamonds, and then the 8 of clubs. What is East going to discard? East pitches a heart. So now Declare can actually pitch the 3 of clubs. Oh, but they don't. Not paying attention to the discards from East-West. There was an option to play for the hearts to split at this point. All of the hearts would have been set up if Declare had just led the Heart Queen, pitching the club. There's a little bit of nuance to this plan, but it looks like Declare does take the Club Finesse, cashes the Spade King, but now the communication is a little bit tangled between the north-south hands. Elects to lead a club back to the Jack, but West has the last 2 tricks. So 11 tricks for Declare. I think a huge result for north-south because many East will be leading the Spade Queen over here. We'll take a look at the percentage as it zooms up into the green, 54%. And among all the pairs that have already played this hand, one of them only made 10 tricks, which I think is pretty likely, but one of them ended up going down 1 and 3 no trump, in fact. And that was probably due to the bad diamond split, that they were just not careful enough in the play to handle the 5-0 diamonds. But let's check in on some of our other tables that are still in the midst of playing some of these boards. We'll tune back in here as the 6th auction gets underway. East opens 2 spades in first seat. We get a 3 diamond overcall from South. North bids 3 hearts natural, and South is just going to bid 3 no with the spade stopper, no heart fit. Maybe South is considering bidding 3 spades in a spot like this, trying to get North to declare the no trump if North has a spade stopper of their own. South could be a little bit nervous. Whoa, South bids 4 clubs. Oh my. A big risk at match points to bypass 3 no trump in these positions. Because if you're making 3 no and instead you head to 5 of a minor, you're not going to do better. 3 no trump is going to take 9 tricks, 10 tricks, and you already need 11 to just kind of break even some of the time if you're playing in a minor suit. So North does preference 4 diamonds with a little bit of a fit here, King Jack Doubleton. I'm sure North is not all that upset about the way that this auction has gone. But that king third of spades, North is going to be a little bit nervous, of course. So where is South going to end up? Does South have further ambitions here and is looking for slam? If so, South could cubid 4 spades. A bit of a pause. They do have 4 minutes to figure this out on the clock. North-South not having a great round so far. We can see the percentage, but this only accounts for these 3 boards. We don't know exactly where they're standing in the overall field after 2 rounds. South really thinking about this decision over 4 diamonds. Passes! Oh my. I mean, this is very likely to make. There's no reason to believe that Declare won't just end up pulling trumps, knocking out a heart, taking a club finesse, and eventually making, let's call it 11 tricks on this board, but missing out on a game will not do so hot in this field when everyone else is reaching 3 no trump in the North-South cards, although we've already seen 1 pair and 3 no trump go down. So this won't be a 0, but it is not going to be a pretty result for North-South. A lot of interesting points to make about the play here, but I think because the contract is kind of doomed from a match point perspective to yield a bad result, let's check in on another table for the time being. There's only a couple that are still in play here as the second round of play winds down. Same start to the auction over here. 2 spade opener, 3 diamond overcall, 3 hearts, and I think there's only 2 realistic choices on the South cards. It's 3 no trump or 3 spades. If you think that your hand is going to be worthwhile with just the ace doubleton of spades as a stopper, 3 no trump is going to be enough for you. Looking like you might need to take a diamond finesse into West's hand, and hopefully after ducking a round of spades, you'll be able to cut off the weak 2 preemptor from gaining the lead. Alternatively, if you think that the single spade stopper is not enough because we're lacking quick tricks outside the diamond suit, then you could bid 3 spades asking your partner for a stopper. But South taking, I think, the simpler route to the right game contract of just bidding 3 no with the doubleton spade stop. West on lead, does lead a spade, and Declare needs to be a bit careful here because, as we've kind of already mentioned, this 5-0 diamond split, if Declare makes the error, in air quotes, of winning the ace of spades at trick 1, then when they play a diamond to the king, they'll get the bad news, and then the diamonds will be completely cut off. Declare will only be taking 4 diamond tricks instead of the 6 that they started play with. So a practical decision, but one that's honestly a little bit difficult to make, is to win the king of spades at trick 1. I know a lot of players are very tempted to keep that 3rd spade flexible in case you want to duck the second round of the suit or even the first round of the suit. Like maybe Declare wants to duck the first round of spades, win the second round, and then they'll be able to safely take a club finesse into East later in the play because that king of spades will remain as a stopper. So I don't think that it's so obvious to make this very far-sighted play of winning the spade king, but look at that. Declare gave it the time they need to think through the right decision, does win the spade king, now is going to lead the diamond king, needs to do so relatively quickly, only has a minute on the clock now that the round time has been updated a little bit, giving the players a bit more time to work on the play, but needs to play much, much, much faster. I don't think we're going to get this hand through. Needs to win the spade king, test the diamonds, is going to find out about the 5-0 diamond split, and then it's going to be on South to work out how greedy you want to be. Next plan, probably knock out the ace of hearts, heart to the queen. West can win, play another spade, and then after running the diamonds, do we take that club finesse? I don't know. But 10 seconds as we count down. I don't think we're going to get to the conclusion of the play of this hand, unfortunately. It would be nice to see what Declare ends up doing in the play. But there we go. Let's see, do we have results? We do, finally. After 5 boards or 6 boards, close to the end of round, one pair in the lead with an 80% game currently. Leonardo Ronderos and Tinu Parv. We have Laughter and Luigi Toro up in second. Gabrielle Z and Cortex in third. Lots of pairs above 60%, 7 of them, in fact. But there's still going to be a lot of fight at every table. Let's try and tune in to one of the leaders. Here we go. We've got them on screen. East-West currently leading the event so far. I think this was the pair that ended up playing 2 no trump on the... No, it wasn't. I don't remember, but we have seen them earlier in the day. Maybe someone can remind me what boards we watched them play earlier. But sometimes you get gifts, and that leads to your side taking a bit of a lead. And here, after South opens a diamond on this board with the 13 count and North bids a heart, a lot of players are going to be tempted to come in with a no trump on the East cards. I really like East decision to pass, especially at match points, especially vulnerable between 2 bidding opponents. You can get into a lot of trouble if you come in with a no trump in a spot like this. Even though you kind of have the bid, you 1 no overcalls are like 15 to 18, and you got a 15 count. If you were in first seat, of course you would open this no trump. If you do pass a hand like this, sure, maybe partner has an 8 or 9 count over there and a spade suit, and we could miss out on a spade game. Maybe partner has even a 10 count, and the opponents are actually stealing from us, and we miss out on 3 no trump. But more often than not, when you come in a no trump on a hand like this, one of 2 bad things is going to happen. Either the opponents are going to have all the values and they're going to double you, and it's going to be painful when your entire hand is 3 aces and no source of tricks. Or 2, you bid a no trump. The opponents say, okay, that's great. We have shape like South has here. They bid out to 2 clubs and then 3 diamonds, and then they know where every single high card point in the deck is, so they can play the hand completely double dummy. And they'll take more tricks than the rest of the field by doing so. So, great decision from East to not come into this auction, recognizing that there was a small chance it was actually their hand, so let's just keep quiet. This is a 2-suited auction. West gets off to a trump lead for that reason. I do tend to like those leads against 2-suited auctions. I'm not sure in this case with 3 small clubs if we really need to pull trumps, because it sounds like every club finesse is working through our partner, and or the clubs might just be splitting. So pulling trumps might just pickle partner's trump holding, as it did here. Declare was able to pick off that diamond 10. Leads the Jack of Hearts out of hand. West needs to give a count signal, so the Jack of Hearts goes around to the ace. Good play by East. But East is a little bit pickled right now. I mean, if we take a look at the double dummy play here, the best play for East is to lead a low spade at this point. That is a really hard play to find, leading away from an ace into an honor. Wow, East finds it? What a play! I mean, of course, from East's perspective, leading a trump looks bad, gives access to that Jack of Diamonds and dummy. Leading back a heart looks bad, the King, Queen of Hearts is set up, and leading clubs looks like it's Declare's suit. So it is findable, and obviously this East player did come up with it on their own, but that is quite the position to take. Another spade comes back, and now the defense is actually going to get 2 more tricks. They're not going to beat the contract, but from here, there's a couple of things that, whoa, Declare roughs with the Diamond Queen. Yikes. In fact, very yikes. Leads a diamond to the Jack. but East is able to now deny a dummy entry to Declare. If Declare was able to get over to dummy with either the King of Hearts or the 10 of Clubs or the Jack of Diamonds, they could have taken a club finesse and picked off East club holding. Now Declare is going to get trapped in hand. Another diamond comes through from East, sticking Declare back in hand to lead a club away from the Ace, Queen, Jack. Declare... but East finally concedes after finding the perfect defense for so long. Now a club comes through. I mean, I guess technically this doesn't hurt. Declare can once again take the club finesse. Oh, no, it does. It does. Wait, look at this. Look at this. Is Declare going to be on top of this? Declare can take a club finesse and then rough a club to get back to dummy, which they might do anyway in the case that clubs were 4-2 instead of 3-3. So they can also cash the King, Queen of Hearts first to pitch some clubs, which is no danger. And Declare does know about the diamond location. So after a club finesse, which they don't need to take anymore, just a club to the ace and a club rough, Declare is stuck in dummy and can then trump coup East. So even though this club finesse wins, Declare needs to now rough the ace of clubs to get back to dummy, and there's no cost in doing this. Absolutely no cost in roughing your winning ace here, because if East over roughs, so be it. You were always going to lose that 10 of diamonds because you're trapped in your own hand. If you play the King of Diamonds instead of roughing the Ace of Clubs, no matter. East will just hold on to their 10 and they get another trick. But by roughing the Ace of Clubs, there is a trump coup against East. We'll lead either. Yeah, and so Declare misses it. But this was a no-cost attempt for one extra trick here, and with the clubs splitting, it would have come to fruition. That would have been a beautiful way for Declare to recover from that devastating defense that East found earlier of that low spade switch from Ace third. So 2 diamonds does come home, making 2. I'm sure North-South are going to be thrilled to see a plus score on their card, especially given that the defense had so many assets out against them. But a missed opportunity for North-South to at least come back into what I would say is probably an average result. Let's check in on Gabrielle Z and Cortex. I think they were one of the leaders, maybe 3rd place coming into the set. We will see what they can manage to cook up on this last board. 3 passes, go around to South, opens a club in 4th seat with the 18 count. Pass by West. North bids a heart as a passed hand. South can rebid 2-no to show the 18 to 19, as many players do. And then North will probably have a way to check back for a 5-3 heart fed. So 2-no trump, 3 diamonds is a popular method used to check back for a 5-3 major suit fit here, or possibly 4-4 in the other major, if North had 4 spades as well. And so North-South will end up playing in 4 hearts. Now the question might be, how many tricks will they take in 4 hearts? The heart suit doesn't split all that well, but it is friendly in a way that Declare can handle. If Declare cashes the ace of hearts first and the suit, which is certainly the percentage play to try and pick up this heart suit with no spot cards or anything, for as few losers as possible, they'll get the good news about the heart king, and then it will be very sensible to lead a heart to the 9 as a finesse on the second round. I mean, no one dumps the king from King 10 Doubleton here. So you could pick up the hearts for just 1 loser. The clubs, you have plenty of spot cards that you don't need to worry about a club split, even if the club suit gets blocked a little bit thanks to that 10 of clubs. The spades do happen to split 3-3, so there's no outstanding roughs coming. And this King 10 of diamonds is actually good enough to stop the diamond suit as long as Declare is careful. West is going to be the only one that can get in on this hand with the singleton King of Hearts never taking a trick. So the King 10 third of diamonds will be able to stop West from forcing Declare more than once in the diamond suit and establishing a long trump for themselves. I think 11 tricks is very much in the picture, and we'll see if North is able to manage it. First things first, East needs to find an opening lead. Might be a little bit of communication going on about the definitions of some of the bids in this auction, especially the 3 diamond bid. Just check back. Most everyone plays that. So unbid suits in this sequence are going to be diamonds and spades. From East perspective, either of those suits looks pretty attractive to lead from. I think a lot of players might prefer the passive lead of a spade here, but being a little bit more aggressive with only 6 high card points could be the winner. Looks like we're paused a little bit. There's the diamond lead. I do like this choice. And very important for Declare here not to just gamble and play this diamond king. We've all seen players underlead aces before against suit contracts. It can happen. Maybe if East was a known player to underlead an ace, then you could do this. But the problem with this play is that now Declare really is not protected against being forced in the diamond suit. West is going to return a low diamond here. Declare is going to ruff. And then when West gets in with the heart queen, West is going to play a 3rd round of diamonds, once again forcing Declare. West will have trump control, and Declare is going to struggle to make even 10 tricks at this point. Yeah, diamond comes back, so a big oversight from Declare here. I know a lot of players at match points, Declare leads a spade to the king, a little bit surprising, and now leads a heart up. So East actually does get in with the heart king. Declare, I think, just not really believing in the dangers of a 4-1 trump split. It's not always the case that you need to be prepared for this sort of thing. But yeah, look at what's going on now. Now a heart goes to the ace. East can discard a club. And the best Declare can do is to just start running clubs and spades. West will eventually get in, roughing either the 3rd round of clubs. And it looks like Declare is going to play a 3rd round. No, they cash 2 clubs, and now they play a spade to the ace and a spade back. So this is very well handled by Declare. But it still won't be enough. West is going to take at least 2 more tricks as long as they're careful. Declare can play the 10 of spades towards their hand. West needs to pitch a diamond on this trick. This might be a difficult play to find, but given a bit of a pause, I think West is going to come up with it. West can see. If they ruff with the 10 of hearts, Declare will over-ruff and then play the ace of clubs, in which case West will have to ruff again, and then the 4 of hearts will stand up at trick 13, allowing Declare to make the contract. So counterintuitively, by letting the 10 of spades win, West should have a count on Declare's exact shape at this point. Declare started with 5 hearts, 3 spades, 1 diamond. Beautiful play from West, pitches their diamond, and now West is going to be able to win the next trick with the 10 of hearts on the club and take the last trick with the heart queen. 4 hearts goes down 1. Good recovery from North after the opening error by putting up that diamond king, but I think just not thinking ahead carefully enough about the possible downfalls. Let's tune back into another table following around the room. We're on board 8 again. Pass, pass, pass. South opens a club. This is precision style, 17 or more high card points most of the time. So North will be able to bid 1 no trump. It gets alerted. This is very likely to show a 5-card heart suit. A lot of precision players will not want to bid naturally because they want to right side the contracts with the strong hand in spots like this. So for many pairs, they kind of invert 1 heart and 1 no trump in these positions, which could be what's going on here. But we'll just see how the auction proceeds. So South very likely to ask some questions now about North's high card points, their shape, and find out that they have the 5-3 heart fit. And I do believe we're going to see South declaring 4 hearts here, which is a lot better. I mean, look at what happened at the previous table. That diamond came through the king. This is one of the main reasons why you want the strong hand to be declaring a lot of these contracts. If 4 hearts is played from the South, there's no reason to worry about the diamond king on opening lead because the lead's coming into your king. Even if East has the ace of diamonds, a diamond round to the ace, a diamond back, you don't get forced. Then you can go ace of hearts, heart, use the plenty of black suit entries to the south hand to take heart finesses, and you'll be just fine. We do have a couple of alerts coming through. The one no trump showed 4 controls where an ace is 2 and a king is 1. So I guess that's what North-South are playing for their system over the 1 club opener. 2 no trump showed the 18 to 19 balanced hand type, or maybe 17 to 19 balanced because they said 1 club was 17 plus. 3 diamonds is a transfer to hearts. And like we suspected, North-South going to play 4 hearts on this one. I think I want to stick around for just a moment to see how Declare handles the trump suit. We saw an interesting approach in the other room, crossing to a club to lead a heart up, or crossing to a spade, I think it was, to lead a heart up towards the jack. This might have caused a jumpy West player to hop up with the king of hearts from king third, for example, which would have been kind of disastrous on this hand because their partner would have had queen doubleton, and then Declare would have been able to score the hearts for just 1 loser in an otherwise impossible position to do so. So I'm curious if Declare is going to try that sort of ruse once again at this table, or if they're going to be more practical about it. Take the ace of hearts and then go from there. West on lead. It's kind of difficult in these artificial auctions to know what suits the opponents have. North has hearts, but South has showed nothing. South has showed a balanced hand and then accepted the transfer and then confirmed an 8-card heart fit. So South could have clubs, South could have diamonds, South could have spades over here. West decides to lead their doubleton club, looking for a ruff with what appears to be a couple of natural trump tricks. The queen 10 fourth of hearts, often going to be worth 2 trump tricks on its own. Generally not the right strategy to go searching for a ruff in a spot like this. Instead, it would be more practical to try and set up tricks in your partner's suit or set up a way to try and force the opponents. I mean, if West was feeling very frisky, they could have led ace and a diamond or even led a low diamond away from their ace-jack, hoping their partner had the king, trying to force the dummy. And we saw that happen earlier, that if North-South do end up trumping too many diamonds, they can get in trouble. But here we go. Declare instantly wins the club, cashes the ace of hearts, leads a heart up towards the 9, and then we'll use spades to cross back to the south hand to take another heart finesse, picking up the trumps. This is going to be 11 tricks. Very well done by North-South at this table. Both getting to the contract right-sided as well as playing the trumps for as many tricks as they can. Let's check in on some of the other tables. They're in the midst of bidding the final hand, which we haven't seen yet. And oh my, what a doozy this one is. 2 hearts by North on the 10 count. It's not alerted, but this might have been the same pair that played the intermediate 2s earlier. And 2 hearts just passes out. That is crazy. That is crazy. I don't know why West isn't interested in balancing 3 clubs. You do have 5 cards in the opponent's heart suit, and sure, that's not great for offense, but you do have 6 solid clubs over there and an outside entry. 3 no trump could easily be in the picture if your partner has anything over there, and your side's vulnerable. I think a bit of a big miss from West here to not get involved in this auction. I don't know where they would have ended up if West balanced with 3 clubs. Maybe it would have gone 3 clubs all pass. Maybe East would have taken their opportunity to bid the 7-card diamond suit, which West, of course, didn't want to hear or wouldn't want to hear. But it feels like it has to be better than letting the opponents play 2 hearts on these cards. you're only getting 50 a trick against this, if you even are beating the contract. Jack of spades opening lead, declarer elects to duck, which has allowed declarer to pick up the spade suit with a spade continuation. Now, though, tries a diamond finesse. West is going to rough in, and it's going to be time to start playing those clubs through. So diamond to the queen, West gets to rough this trick, and then start running clubs. And I wonder if declarer is going to pick off the singleton ace of hearts after this start. Because I don't think declarer is going to want to rough in with a high trump at some point. I think declarer is just going to want to shrug and say, okay, you guys got me. Looks like you're cross-ruffing. Roughs in with the four of hearts, is going to be pleasantly surprised to see East overruff with the ace. Although, of course, that does mean the bad news that West has the remainder of the trumps. And with dummy completely entryless, this will end up going down a couple of tricks. Looks like 3 more trump tricks for East-West. This queen of clubs gets roughed and over-roughed, then either a spade or a diamond comes back, roughed. Wow, declarer does rough in with the 10 of hearts, but this will just get over-roughed with the... Oh, I'm sorry, I wasn't paying attention to the clock this time. Clock runs out. We're into the round 4. We're halfway through the tournament right now. Let's pull up the standings for just a moment. We have Laughter and Luigi Toro still up in first place. They have a 72% game going, another 70% just behind them, and then a bit of a drop off. In fact, it looks like the field is leveling out a little bit, with fourth place being only at a 60% game. Still an impressive performance for them. Let's tune into another table to follow what's going on. East opens a diamond in first seat with their 4-4-3-2 shape, playing the better minor opening bid style. 1 no trump from West. The 5 count, vulnerable. Even at match points, you really don't want to just give your opponents a free ride into the auction, so West knows the value of just being a little bit competitive here, being a bit pushy in a spot like this. And so this is kind of the situation that I was talking about at the other table when we were speaking about how, oh, just with a 15 count, you shouldn't really be coming into these auctions everyone red. It's very scary to do so. North has 14, South has 10. This is North-South's hand if they can figure it out, but it's very hard after this no trump bid. I mean, with that being said, passing out a no trump might not be the worst thing for North-South to do. It looks like declarer is going to have quite a difficult time in collecting any number of tricks in this contract, even with some friendly splits. Spades 3-3, ace of hearts is on side. Technically, the diamonds can be played for 2 tricks if declarer gets the opportunity. I mean, North might just lead a diamond at trick 1 with their king 5th. But how many tricks is declarer going to take with everyone vulnerable? Not really the position you want to end up in, at match points especially. King of spades opening lead. So declarer very likely to just duck this trick, let the opponents continue the suit if they want, and then maybe we'll have an, oh, never mind, goes up with the ace. And just goes after clubs. This makes a decent amount of sense. The king of clubs may well hold this trick. I think it would be very prudent for North to duck. Generally, when a player leads a king like this, it's because they have a strong suit on the side, which West kind of does. And very importantly, in fact, North wants to cut off West's hand from the clubs. No, North wins. So a pretty big error there on North's part. And now with North continuing spades, it's just helping declarer to set up that long spade and dummy. The defense will still have an opportunity to come out on top if they're able to knock out this heart king. If South gets in with the jack of spades and switches to hearts here when they get in, then declarer is still going to be in for a world of hurt. because then the clubs will never take another trick. There's no entries to the West hand. But it's a lot easier if North just ducks that ace of clubs, wins the second round, then there's no danger. Okay, a heart comes through to the ace. And South needs to work out to continue playing hearts. And that's really all there is to it. Heart to the ace, a heart back. This is a very tense moment, and South does find the heart back. Declarer's heart drops in their chest after seeing this. Now knows that there's just no prayer to make this thing. The objective is just going to be to get out for down as few as possible. Not sure what North is considering. Just play low heart here. Make sure you preserve that queen, of course. So now a spade comes back, around to the jack. South can continue another heart, unblocking the queen. North will be in, and it looks like eventually Declarer will end up scoring 2 diamond tricks at the end of play, as well as a spade. But that appears to be down 2, if my count is correct on this hand. So plus 200, that magical result at match points, especially if it's a part score hand, that's going to beat any part score that's played in either direction. North-South should be very happy about this result. Not sure what the holdup is. Maybe North is busy with something else at the same time. Pretty difficult to multitask in some of these bridge tournaments, but of course a lot of players do use it as an opportunity playing online. Yeah, it does look like North is distracted by something. Not sure exactly what, but hopefully they'll be back in shortly. Let's check in on another table as we finish up this first hand, and we'll take a look at our leaders, in fact, once again. This time, North-South are the ones ending up declaring a no trump on the 10th board. So rather than East-West playing it at everyone vulnerable, North-South have ended up there. And this is exactly where you want to be at match points. If you think about the scoring system, when everyone's not vulnerable, your side wants to declare a no trump. You can just count it out. If your side makes 7 tricks, you get plus 90. If you were defending, you get plus 50. If your side makes 8 tricks, declaring, plus 120, defending, plus 100. If your side even makes 9 tricks and 1 no trump, you break even for plus 150 versus plus 150 on defense. Whereas if you're all vulnerable, it's the exact opposite. You think it's about the scoring, your side wants to be defending a no trump when everyone's vulnerable. So North-South are going to be thrilled that they get to defend a no trump at this vulnerability. And it does seem like Declarer is on their way to making exactly 1. I didn't follow the play entirely, but this seems like a plus score for North-South. But of course, we saw 8 tricks taken for North-South on defense at the other table, with some good defense, for sure. So plus scores tend to be good, but plus 90 might not be the best result on this board. And as we see, North-South end up with a 42% for just going plus and a no trump on this hand. Not bad, but a better result for East-West, although it's still not the 70% game that they've been having. We'll follow them for one more board because they are still currently the leaders for the time being. South passes with the 9 count, as does West. A lot of players would be tempted to open 2 hearts or some sort of preempt on the West cards, or maybe even 1 heart over there. East picks up a 13 count, gets to open a diamond in 4th seat. And after a heart from West, we'll see if East rebids 1 spade or 1 no trump. That's going to be a systemic choice from a lot of players. Some players like to rebid a no trump with all balanced hands or semi-balanced hands in this spot, which the East hand qualifies 5-4-2-2. Some prefer to always rebid a spade with 4 spades so that they don't miss out on a 4-4 spade fit. Looks like that's what East-West are doing here. And now West in a bit of a pickle because for the pairs that would rebid a no trump with the East hand, West would know that their partner has a doubleton heart in general, and so West would be comfortable pulling this to 2 hearts. Here, West might think that their partner could easily have a singleton heart there, and in that case, you would probably prefer to play this hand in a no trump rather than a 5-1 heart fit. But West does make the gamble, pull to 2 hearts, does catch partner with Jack doubleton. So this is not going to be as good a result as if East-West were playing no trump on this hand, because it looks like there's a decent chance the diamond suit would take quite a few tricks, as well as the heart suit comes home for 5 tricks in that contract. Jack of diamonds opening lead, and Declare puts in the queen. That doesn't make a lot of sense. You know that Jack of diamonds lead is from shortness. You should absolutely go up with the diamond ace here, pull trumps, and then knock out the king of diamonds. Yeah, North cashes the ace of clubs. I'm not exactly sure what's going on with that play. Then switches to spades. So now a spade to the Declare up with the king, so ace. Now another diamond back. South has been playing back low diamonds. Normally when you're giving your partner a ruff, you want to be giving suit preference signals. So that 2 of diamonds return at trick 2, a little bit of unusual. And now once again, the 3 of diamonds return. South really wants North to play back spades here so that South can get in and play another diamond. North works it out anyway. So spade to the queen, now another diamond. But at this point, Declare does get to ruff high and then pull trumps. Heart to the jack, heart to the ace king, club back to the king, and the ace of diamonds will be useful to ditch a club. But North-South took the first 6 tricks on this hand. This is going to be a disaster for East-West, because not pulling trumps can be very scary when there are ruffs outstanding, as we see here. So a bit of a slip up from our leaders on this board. Looks like we're about to see a claim. So 2 hearts down 1. I guess I'll hang around and we'll wait to see the match point result updated, but I would be surprised if East-West are still in the green after this hand. This feels like a position where East-West are definitely going to be in the bottom 15 to 20% of the field with a minus score on this one. So Queen of Hearts just to check for any lurkers in the trump suit. Sometimes it is a little bit difficult keeping up with how many times your opponents have ruffed in situations like this, but East hand is high, 2 hearts down 1. And the match point score updates, it's not as bad as I thought. That looks like it might have been about a 30% result on the hand, but they've dropped down to a 45% round. We'll leave them to it. They have one more board to play. Let's tune back in to looking around for any of the tables that we haven't followed in a while, any of the pairs. We're on to board 12 just as the auction gets underway here. And oh no, I'm noticing a worrying trend here for North-South's percentage on this round. Less than 10% of the match points does not feel great. It can happen to anyone. But we'll check out the auction at this table if it ever starts. I'm not sure what West is waiting on with the side 4-card spade suit, even if you have a diamond preempt available to you at the 2 level, which many of the European pairs will not. I don't think this is the type of hand where you want to open 2 diamonds with that queen 4th of spades on the side. Here, it might actually work out. You would catch a big diamond fit, and you might be able to find a sacrifice over the opponent's 4-heart contract. But West does pass. North gets to open a spade. East will come in 2 diamonds. And is South going to feel confident making a negative double here? Some pairs will play negative free bids, in which case South, I guess, could try 2 hearts, although it's still a bit thin with only 6 high card points. But you really don't want to pass with a hand like this. So I like the negative double from South. West, I mean, very likely to bid at least 4 diamonds here. I'm a big fan of... Whoa! Okay! That was not expected. Hey, when you pick up 5 card trump support for your partner and you are favorable, you better be getting in the way of the auction on a hand like this. You gotta do that. So big miss from West here to put a lot of pressure on North-South and also to convey to their partner that they have some diamonds. We'll see how the auction proceeds. So North bids 2 hearts. I wonder if South is just going to let this go. South certainly expects to have at least 9 hearts. Whoa! There is so much bidding happening at this table. Well, now West probably feels terrible. And now West bids 5 diamonds. So this is a big no-no for bidding. For anyone out there trying to learn about preempts, this is what you don't want to do. You don't want to give the opponents the opportunity to exchange information. That's the whole point of making a preempt. So 4 diamonds, 5 diamonds, whatever you want to do over this double, it's going to make it so much harder for North-South to come into this auction. I think in this case, over 4 diamonds, North would probably bid 4 hearts, but not always. North doesn't always have a 4-heart bid on their cards. And yeah, North-South settle into 5 hearts. It looks like this might even be making. Declare just needs to pick up the club suit. Let's see how North handles the play here, because there are a number of options that are all pretty appealing. We'll start by roughing the opening diamond lead. But one of the most attractive options, I think, might even be to just lead a low spade out of hand at trick 2. East with the overcall and most of the high card values, pretty likely to have the missing ace of spades. Looks like Declare has elected to pull 2 rounds of trumps, though. The problem with this plan, by pulling 2 rounds of trumps first before working on the spades, is that now, even when we play a spade to the jack and it forces the ace, we're running out of entries to the north hand a little bit. I guess we have a diamond ruff as an entry. Then we can use the king of spades to pitch a club and ruff a spade. But with spades splitting 4-2, the spade suit does not come home. At that point, Declare will need to play the clubs for 1 loser. And I think is somewhat likely to be able to do that. But playing on spades immediately would have offered Declare the opportunity to pick up this 4-2 trump split. And then not need to guess the clubs later in the play. So Declare is very happy that he's guessed the spades and that the trumps have split so that he didn't have to waste any extra trumps in pulling the trump suit. But now king of spades, a spade ruff. We are just 1 entry short to the north hand of setting up the spades. So ruff's the last spade. In the club suit itself, the a priori percentage, the mathematically best percentage, is to lead the queen of clubs and then take a finesse, basically against West holding the king, and then lead the 10 of clubs if that loses and take a finesse against West holding the jack. But I think North, very understandably, especially on an auction like this, where East has most of the missing values, decides to just finesse East for the club king. Makes a lot of sense. Does end up making 5 hearts. So very well done, well judged in the bidding and play, and I do want to see that 6% shoot up. It does. 30% on the round, respectable. Excellent last board for them. Let's tune into some of the other competitors. We still have 4 minutes to play in the round. I'm going to check out some of the other pairs that were up towards the top of the standings, which were these guys, I think. Leandro and Tinuparv playing 5 diamonds in the East, not doubled. So we're seeing a different result here. A spade, 2 diamonds, pass by South, no negative double. West electing to bid 4 spades. I'm not sure what that means. Most pairs would play that as a splinter, I guess. I don't know. Most pairs would play it as something, but East corrects to 5 diamonds, and because North-South never found their heart fit, they didn't realize what they were missing out on. And in the meantime, 5 diamonds, North-South have already taken 3 tricks. There is still a club trick to come. No way to avoid that loser. So Declare is going to end up down 2 but without the double, this is still going to be a pretty good result for East-West. I mean, even with the double, given that 5 hearts is so easy to make on the North-South cards, you just pull trumps, and as we saw from the one table, you can even finesse the overcaller for the missing king, which works. Declare doing their best to get South to discard that club queen, but South holds on to it. Good defense overall, but a missed opportunity to find their heart game. Let's take a look at the scoreboard on this one just a little bit to see where people are getting on this hand. 5 hearts doubled, huge result, making 5. 5 hearts making 5 at a couple of tables. 4 hearts making 4 at one table. Must have misguessed the clubs in some position at the end of the play. There is 1 5 diamonds doubled, but there's a lot of 5 diamonds not getting doubled. There's even some 4 diamonds not getting doubled, where we can see a spade, 2 diamonds, no bid by South. West makes only a raise to 3 diamonds. I mean, this is such a timid call, but with North-South not coming in and finding their heart fit, West felt a little bit safer in making a small raise on the king-queen fifth. Some of this might depend on your partner's tendencies to overcall at the 2 level, especially favorable. If your partner is well known to be overcalling on just a very poor hand because they like to disrupt the opponent's auction, then yeah, with 5-card trump support, I do understand being a bit more conservative on this West hand. But you should probably get that out of your system. These bad 2-level overcalls, not the thing to be doing at match points. Still, it gave North-South the opportunity to find their heart fit. They still didn't. Ended up costing them. There was a 3 diamonds making 3. Big result for East-West at one of the tables. But let's check back in. We have only a couple tables still in play on this final board. As we're coming to the conclusion, East-West get to 4 diamonds at this table, with North opening a spade and rebidding 3 spades after South was unable to take a call. I do like this decision from North. Despite being 6-4 in spades and hearts, you kind of just have to make a choice. And bidding 3 hearts with such a weak heart suit, ace-10 fourth, could easily work out poorly, and especially when partner can't make a negative double, you're pretty likely to miss out on the 6-2 spade fit if you do that. Partner's going to play you for 5-5 most of the time. So currently in first, we still have Laughter and Luigi Toro. They've been leading throughout, but things have gotten close. Mink and Jorsic in second, Kvicha and Georgi in third, and Scorzy and Gadochev in fourth, chasing the pack, but lots of pairs in the low 60s. Let's tune in to... Let's check in on the 4th place pair here, playing up against some of the other players towards the top of the standings. A couple of passes, and wow. Whoever wrote the script for today's hands has done an excellent job. South picks up 8-3 with a 15 count, 8-card diamond suit. A weak diamond suit at that, but still good enough to play for one loser, opposite partner's small doubleton. So diamond, a heart to start the auction, and where are North-South going to wind up? It looks like 5 diamonds is a pretty reasonable spot. 3 no trump at match points, everyone's favorite contract. North is going to bid 3 no here, and I wonder, is South going to sit? I think I would be very tempted to sit with the South hand. We have a giant source of tricks in the diamond suit and 2 outside entries to it, even on the off chance that partner doesn't have a fitting diamond on her. I would be very tempted to try 3-0 as South, but North-South do get to the, looks like a little bit safer 5 diamond contract in a way. You can pitch a spade on the 2nd round of hearts and dummy, and if the opponents don't take their club, you could even pitch a club on the 3rd round of hearts. end up losing a diamond trick to that king-queen doubleton. Need to be a bit careful about how you handle the play, especially on a spade lead, which I think is overwhelmingly likely from West. Jack of spades goes around to the ace. If Declare decides to try ace, king, queen of hearts immediately, they will get rid of the club king, but West will be able to rough the third round. So probably better to cash the ace of diamonds before doing this on the off chance hearts are 6-2, but it's very close. Percentage-wise, I think I could go either way on this decision. So now the queen of hearts to pitch a spade, West roughs in, and Declare still has to suffer a diamond loser, which is A-okay, but ends up making 11 tricks for 5 diamonds. I do wonder if 3 no trump might end up taking more, though. Because on the surface, Declare has 7 diamonds, 2 spades, at least 1 heart, even if the hearts get cut off. 3 no trump could easily be the winning spot, and that 10-9 fourth of clubs will stop the suit against an attack in the club suit itself. So we'll keep an eye on what pairs around the room do on that hand. Let's check back in with... I'm looking around for some of our leaders. We have Mink and Jorsic here. We'll see. Hey, look at this. And as we said it, 3 no trump ends up making 10 tricks on this hand. I was not paying all that careful attention to what happened. A diamond, 1 no, 3 no. I'm not sure why North bid a no trump with ace, king, queen, fourth of hearts, but they did. Maybe it's a systemic thing for them. In theory, this could go down. A low club lead if East works out to duck around to the stiff king. And then when East gets in diamonds, the clubs are set up to run. 4 club tricks can be taken east-west. But huge result for north-south. 83% of the match points as we only have a couple of compares coming in. So let's focus in on the north-south pair, who was currently, I believe, in second coming into this round, as they handle the second board, board 14. This is the penultimate round. East passes in first seat with the 10 count, as will South with their 10. Is West going to preempt in third seat? Normally, I don't like doing it with 5-4 in the majors, but third seat, not vulnerable, excellent heart suit, very weak spades, really want to direct that heart lead. I think 2 hearts has a lot going for it here. West passes, though. North opens a no trump, 14-16, with a complete maximum 16 count. South is just going to bid 3 no. They have 10. 4-3-3. No reason to even investigate with Puppet Stamen if they have that available to find a 5-3 major suit fit. Not with this shape. So how many tricks are available to Declare in this spot? East very likely to lead a diamond from their queen 10 fifth. That will give up a trick immediately. The diamond will go around to Declare's 9. Clubs are 3-3. Spades are not. But when East gets in with the club king, it is possible for East to find a heart switch. If they switch to ace of hearts and a heart, that'll be curtains for Declare. Yeah, there's 1 no, 3 no. So there will be another opportunity for East-West to find the killing defense. There's the diamond lead, an attitude 2 of diamonds, not fourth best. Saying East likes the suit or wants their partner to get in and continue the suit if possible. Diamond lead goes around to the 9. You know, I wonder if Declare missed an opportunity here to try and be a little bit clever. Because Declare is so concerned about hearts from the opponents, Declare could have won the Jack of Diamonds at trick 1. And maybe this would have tempted East into getting in with the club king and playing back the diamond queen. Now, if East gets in with the king of clubs, okay, Declare takes a finesse against the 10 of clubs here. Kind of a wild decision. Club up to the king. Now East is going to realize that playing back diamonds is very risky. Declare is known to have the Jack of Diamonds, but East does it anyway. They play back the Diamond Queen, and not only does this save Declare's heart cards, but it gives up an extra diamond trick. Yeah, now Declare unblocks the jack of diamonds, can cash a couple of clubs. West has already started throwing spades. This is going to be a huge result for North-South, and I think they're going to be making a push for that first place position in the standings. Eventually, East is going to get the ace of hearts at the end of play, but this is more than sufficient for, I would say, 100% of the match points on this board. I'm not sure why Declare didn't cash the queen of clubs before doing all of this, but they do still have an entry in the spade king to make that happen. So king of diamonds, spade to the king, cash the two black suit cards, and East will eventually take their heart. Yeah, match points is a very greedy form of scoring, and it does pay to try and aggressively collect tricks. So 11 tricks there. I think we're going to see this 85% shoot up. 96% so far on the round. Huge two boards for North-South. Let's jump to a different table. Head over here as they are just getting underway on this board 14 that we already saw. We'll find out if 11 tricks is going to do better than the players in this room. And look at this. 2 passes. West does decide to open in third seat, but they choose 1 heart instead of a heart preempt. Can be a little bit dangerous to make a cyc like this, but if your partner is aware of the fact that you're in third seat non-vulnerable, then maybe they're going to be better positioned to handle it later. We'll see as the auction develops, though, because it's a little bit risky in terms of the ethics of the action if you frequently make these types of cycs, because your partner might end up fielding them some of the time. But take out double from North with the 15, redouble from East. South passes. Now, this is an interesting question. What should South's pass mean over the redouble? Should it just be, I don't have any preference? Or should it be, I was planning on passing out 1 heart doubled? Because it could be very correct for our side to go after a penalty, especially if South has like a 6-card heart suit over here. And there's just no way for South to do that if East either makes a true redouble and West is psyched, or if he psychs a redouble, which also happens. Hard to unpack some of these psychs sometimes. The way to do so, I believe, is to Q-bid the opponent's suit. So South only bids 2 spades. I think this is going to end the auction. And it looks like the psych will have paid off. Wow. I mean, one way or another, North-South are not going to be getting a great result on this hand, because now East-West have established that heart lead. If East is on lead against 3 no-trump, they'll lead a low heart. And Declare's Queen Doubleton will get pickled. East-West will take the first 5 heart tricks immediately. North kind of thinking about what's going on. I'm with North here. I have a puzzled look on my face too. You got to be able to unpack what's happening in the auction, and you have to be able to piece in the negative inferences that are being taken from your partner's inability to act earlier. If South actually had 4 spades, South would have bid 1 spade over the redouble, right? That's what North's thinking. So why did South not bid 1 spade directly over the redouble? Because it sounds like South has 4 spades now. South has raised me to 2 spades, right? But does that mean that South has extra values? So East balances in with 3 diamonds. I would say this is pleasant to see, because obviously East has a big hand over here facing an opening bid with a 10 count. So it does mean that East-West are not, taking advantage of any sort of unauthorized information from the frequent psychs in third seat. South really needs to double 3 hearts. Yeah, this is a big miss. South with a 10 count, flat shape, an ace-king that's likely cashing, especially in the opponent's diamond suit at this point, should understand that the opponents were trying to steal from them. It is favorable vulnerability. even if everyone at the table has their bid, like if West has a little bit more for their opening bid and they're just a bit light and your partner has a little bit less, you need to protect your plus score here. South should assume that their side was going plus on offense, needs to double 3 hearts or bid something else, but I don't see what South could do without a spade fid and without a heart stopper. So missed opportunity. It does look like 3 hearts is going to go down quite a few tricks. At least 2 spades already, although the defense has not gotten off to the best start. A couple of clubs, a diamond, maybe even the queen of hearts if Declare misguesses the trump suit after roughing a spade. Then we could even see a spade ruff. Like, for example, if North switches to, let's say, a club here, just for lack of anything better. Declare leads a diamond off, South goes up with the diamond ace, they cash a couple of clubs, and now North plays a spade. Declare roughs, ace of hearts heart, around to the queen doubleton, now a 4th round of spades, South can ruff. So this could go down quite a few tricks. But we'll just have to see how the hand plays out. I mean, it looks like South might win the diamond king here and switch to trumps. I don't think that's the right decision at this point in the play, but we'll see how South handles the play at this point. That 9 of diamonds switch does not look like it was an honest count card from North. So South might be tempted to try and cash the diamond ace. I think you do want to put clubs on the table, though. I think it is important to get the clubs going from South's side. Whether or not your partner has the club ace, I think you need to lead a club to partner's queen so that your jack 9 can eventually set up for a trick before dummies diamonds get established. But South deep in the tank does try the ace of diamonds, probably due to that 9 of diamonds switch from North. Got to get your count signals right in these situations. Now Declare actually has a bit of an opportunity. If Declare, for example, roughs a spade and then goes heart to the king, heart to the ace, pulling the queen doubleton, Declare can just start running diamonds through South. Queen of diamonds will cash to pitch a club. The 7 of diamonds cashes with all the diamond spots gone to pitch another club. South will get to rough in on the 3rd round of diamonds, so the ace of clubs still scores, but Declare will only lose 1 more trick from here. And if that's the case, 3 hearts is going to make, and South is going to be patting themselves on the back for not doubling this. But what a disaster that would be for North-South if Declare brings this contract home. I mean, 14 high card points combined between the East-West hands at the start of play, only an 8-card heart fit, and yet 3 hearts can make. That is not going to score well. It is all in Declare's hands at this point. Yeah, heart to the ace, heart to the king, same start. You could still pull 2 rounds of trumps and then rough the spade suit good. No! Declare takes a heart finesse, so North is in. And now, is it time to switch to clubs? I suppose Declare can still, at this point in time, start playing winning diamonds through South, with South having the last remaining trump. So like if North goes ace and a club at this point, Declare can go up with the king, pitch a club on the diamond queen, play another diamond, pitching a spade, play another diamond, South can rough, but then Declare will have a cross rough for down 1. I mean, regardless, plus 50 on the North-South cards, I do not believe is going to score very well in this field. I'm mostly interested in sticking around. I mean, North is the only one with their webcam on right now, but I want to see North's reaction to the final hand. So there's the diamond queen. Now another diamond. Which cashes, pitching a spade. If West has been paying attention to the diamond spots, they have. So there's a diamond pitching a spade. Now another diamond. South gets to ruff, but now an over ruff, and then the high cross ruff with the last two trumps. 3 hearts down 1. What a hand. And what sort of reaction will we see from North? And in fact, it wasn't such a bad result overall. Just going plus on the North-South cards. I guess a bunch of them went minus in 3-0. No reaction. Let's head back out. We have one more board that we haven't seen yet in this round, but we've been so focused on these first couple of hands. So this final hand, we're getting into the middle of it. 4 diamonds from North is where we've landed in the contract. Looks like 4 diamonds is going to make. Oh, and now with an over trick. East-West did not work out to cash out their clubs. We haven't really been following how the play has gone, but Declare has the rest of the trumps, making 5. I'm curious to see what the full hand looks like. Let's see if we can catch one of the other tables. I guess we'll tune back into this one. Oh my, look at this hand. Wow, wow, wow. So a couple passes to start out this auction. And are we going to see North open 3 no trump in third seat? Many players will use a gambling type of 3-no opener in first and second seat, but in third and fourth, their 3-no opener will tend to be a little bit more heavy. Like, still a solid minor suit of some kind, but not just one outside card. It's going to be usually around 2 outside cards is what players will define it as. So with a hand like this, you would be forced then to open a diamond and rebid 3-no. If your partner bids a no trump or a major of some kind to show what your hand looks like. So we do get the 3-no opener though. And South needs to pull this. If your agreement is that you can have one outside card, I think South needs to pull because they don't have a diamond to get over to their partner's hand. If their partner's one card is, say, the Spade King, then there's no guarantee that 3-no trump is going to make. The Ace of Spades could be sitting over the King, and there's no entry to the North hand. So I think South needs to pull this. But it would be a big gamble to just pass this out and hope that it can make. East-West can take the first 5 tricks, and I think should take the first 5 tricks. The best thing you can lead against a gambling 3-no trump bid is an ace, because you want to take a look at dummy, you want to get a signal from your partner, and your objective, because you think that they're going to run tricks if they get in, is not to set up your tricks for your side by knocking out the opponent's stoppers. It's going to be to cash out. Cash all of your tricks immediately. Oh, but we don't get to see the action. So we'll never find out what happens on that hand. Did South pass? Did East lead an ace? We won't know. We're tuning in to the final round, and Mink and Jorisk are up in first, as predicted. They have 69% game going, close to 70. They're way out in front, but a couple of pairs are chasing them. Let's try tuning into the leaders if we can find them. There we go. We have them up here. Are they going to be able to keep it together? It looks like both of their opponents are offline. Hopefully we get that resolved shortly. But this looks like a hand where North-South are going to be doing all of the bidding. And if North-South get to their optimal contract, which looks like 7-no, that's going to be a hard ask, I think, especially in a short time control like this, where you're going to be doing a lot of gambling and guessing in the auction. But it looks like we need to find a table where something is actually happening. So let's tune back in. I think Kvicha and Georgie were also towards the top of the standings. We'll get to see their opponents in this round. Can they reach the optimal 7-no trump contract? I wonder. South has a 20 count opposite partner's opening bid. North with just 13. The hands happen to fit together perfectly. The 5-card club suit is absolutely necessary. That Jack of Spades is such an important card. Opposite that Ace Doubleton, that's the 13th trick. Queen of Hearts is a big card. The fact that South has the diamond ace instead of the king is really important. Are they going to be able to diagnose all of this? A club, a spade, one no. No. And this is one of the downfalls of playing in some of these speedball events, of course, that even if you are playing a sophisticated system, a lot of players are going to be tempted to just make a quick action to make sure that they can get all of their plays in and their bids in. So North-South get to 6 no trump here. 20 highs in the South hand, but just everything fits. North does have kind of a maximum with 13, but more importantly, North's hand fits perfectly with South's. I think we're likely to see a lot of auctions that look like this. If South wanted to explore, the way to go about it would be to use an artificial 2-diamond game force to start out the exploration. A club, a spade, a no trump, 2 diamonds tends to be checking back for a fit in spades in a spot like this, or possibly a heart fit. But what might happen in this case is North might end up bidding 3 diamonds, clarifying their shape. Because once South has established a game force, North doesn't need to worry about taking up too much bidding room as long as their bids are descriptive. 2 diamonds, 3 diamonds, South can then bid 4 clubs, confirming clubs as trump. North can Q-bid 4 hearts. South can bid key card. South can find out about the heart king. And then South actually has all of the information they will need to count up to 13 tricks and no trump. The 3-diamond bid would pinpoint a 5-card club suit. Key card would find out about the ace of spades, ace of hearts, club queen, and then the heart king. And then South could just count to 13. 5 clubs, 4 spades, 3 hearts, and 1 diamond, 7 no trump. I wonder if we're going to see anyone in the field find this grand slam. If they do, it may well be worth 100% of the match points. So King of Diamonds, opening lead. Declare wins. Can lay down the club ace. And once both opponents follow, Declare can just claim their 13 tricks. I think very likely to be put flat board across most of the field, but we will keep an eye on that percentage as it ticks up or down. So Jack of clubs from West, of course, and then Declare will just be able to claim all 13 tricks. It should be happening relatively quickly. Keep the pace of play moving, of course. This is our final round. We only have 3 boards to go. And I do expect to see the claim in just a moment. Declare counting up their tricks. Does decide to cash the club ace. Hasn't fully counted up their tricks, I guess. This is one of the most important things you can do in any no-trump contract. You always want to start out by counting how many tricks you take just purely in terms of your high card winners. Not needing to knock out any aces or kings, just how many aces, kings, queens, jacks are going to guaranteed take a trick. Make sure you have communication between the 2 hands to get there. But here, Declare has those 5 clubs. Now that the Jack of clubs has fallen, 3 hearts and 4 spades to go with the diamond ace. Does not need to continue playing cards, and it can be important, especially in these short time controls. But I know a lot of players get a little bit flustered when they get to slam. They want to make sure that they haven't miscounted anything. These are important contracts. You want to get these right. So we will leave them to it. Looks like they're going to be here for a little bit of time. Let's tune back into a different table. It looks like they're getting started with the second board of this round. Board 17, South opens a diamond with the 11 count in 3rd seat after East decides not to open in 2nd. All non-vulnerable. Diamond, a heart. Now East has been frozen out of showing their heart suit. A spade, a no trump, all pass. And like we established earlier, if you're non-vulnerable, you want to be the ones declaring a no trump. And it looks like, it looks like North-South would be better done playing in 2 clubs on this hand if they could get there. because here, East on, say, the King of Hearts lead, which I think is very likely, East-West could end up taking the first. East actually leads a fourth best heart. Look at that. Hoping that partner has ace doubleton or 10 doubleton. Well, guess what, buddy? Your partner has both the ace and the 10. 7 of hearts goes around to the ace. The 10 of hearts comes back. It is going to hold the trick. And now West needs to find a card to play, though. So, okay, West does play a third heart, but I was a little bit nervous. I mean, was East so confident their partner was going to switch to spades into their ace if that was an actual ace-10 doubleton of hearts over there? So 3 more rounds of hearts cash for East. West gets to pitch a discouraging club, I assume, and then East can switch to ace of spades and a spade. Or West just gets to make things easy on their partner. Pitches an encouraging spade. So now the Jack of Hearts cashes. Declare can throw yet another club from the south hand, or diamond. Now ace and a spade. Paying attention to partner's encouraging signal here. East-West will cash the first 5 hearts, the next 3 spades. This is going to be down 2 in 1 no trump. Still not the end of the world, I don't think, especially with East-West having a part score and hearts available to them. And many of these players will be opening a heart on that good 10 count. King, Queen, Jack, 5th, and Ace, 10, 3rd of spades with a singleton. I think a lot of pairs are going to be very tempted to just open 1 heart, even though it's only 10 high card points. Let's check back in on some of our other tables that are still in the midst of playing. We will jump in over here. Board 17 about to conclude. North-South end up in 3 clubs. And taking a look at the bidding, North even opens a club. We do get a 1 heart overcall, so East-West find their heart fit, but then North-South able to balance back into clubs afterwards. So missing the no trump pitfall that we saw from a bunch of other tables, or at least the one table that we were watching earlier. Here's the final board today, board 18. We'll stick around with this table for just a moment. East, 13 count, opens a diamond. No reason for South to come in. Not with such a bad suit or a bad hand. 5 high card points only, especially unfavorable. West gets to bid a spade. No reason for North to come in. Not a good suit. Not a good hand. You're unfavorable. Don't come in between 2 bidding opponents with hands like this. I see a lot of players who are just look at this hand, count it up to 13 high card points, and they're like, well, I would have opened the bidding. I need to get involved in the action somehow at match points. People tell me to be aggressive. But you're just asking for trouble if you come in with 2 clubs on a hand like this, especially with such a bad 5-card suit. East-West find their spade fit, 2 spades. And I wonder if West is going to make an invite. The singleton heart is nice. The extra spades, the 5th spade is good. Does try with 3 clubs. I don't know if North is going to accept. The King doubleton of clubs is nice. It is a worthwhile value opposite a partner's game try in the club suit, and East kind of has extra high card points, 13 highs for the opening bid, but of course there's no aces over here, and that can always be a danger. This time with the ace of diamonds on side and the trumps 2-2, it looks like declare could be okay. Losing just a heart, a diamond, and a club. But there's a lot of work to do, and this double by North on 3 quick tricks, ace, king, ace. It's not going to scare declare all that much, and I assume that North is just going to lead a high heart to start the proceedings. But then what? Because if North gets a little bit too greedy and hasty in a potential cash out and goes King of Hearts, Ace of Diamonds, Ace of Hearts, now Declare can just pull trumps. There's no danger. King of Hearts, South plays the 8, looks like a count card, trying to tell their partner they have an odd number. So now North needs to be careful. Because if Declare was left to their own devices, they would probably need to be a bit careful about how they handled the play in the club suit. I think that DeFranco would be up to the task. I expect so. A very strong player who plays for Italy's national team quite often in major international competitions. But there are ways that Declare could go wrong here, like trying to rough clubs before pulling all the trumps, for example. Wow, now North just switches to a trump, and so that does kind of give the show away a little bit. Club around to the ace. South does return a club, hoping that they could eventually get a ruff with that trick, but now how does Declare feel? I guess there's still a little bit of work to do. I mean, one thing DeFranco needs to ask is, why is this guy doubling me? Like, what did I do to deserve this, first of all? And then second of all, what does their hand look like? Is it possible that South doesn't have the diamond ace? It looks like DeFranco has said no. He's just going to pull trumps and then lead diamonds up towards the king-queen. And in fact, with spades splitting 2-2, now he could just claim. Because now he can play the queen of clubs to pitch a diamond. Doesn't even need to worry about the ace of diamonds being offside. He can eventually ruff a club and a diamond in the east hand. So nothing really to be done here. North can take the ace of diamonds now or later, and Declare will claim the rest. Great result for East-West here on the final board of play. I wasn't paying close attention to see if DeFranco was in the lead coming into this round. I think so. So they might have a claim on one of the top positions after this board. We'll tune back in as the competition winds down. We just have a few tables still in play. Let's head over here. East-West have ended up in only 3 spades on their cards at this point, but look at that massive final round that these guys are putting together. 98%. Wow. We should have been following them for the final few boards. So a couple of hearts try to cash, and now Declare is actually in excellent shape. Ends up cashing the ace of spades first. If we'd noticed what DeFranco did when playing the spade suit on that previous board, cash the spade queen on the first round of the suit, and that was to protect against a very, very bad spade holding. If South had Jack 10 fourth, then cashing the spade queen would have been able to pick up the suit for no losers. But cashing a high spade in your hand, if North has Jack 10 fourth, can't do anything about that. You only have one of the cards higher than the Jack 10 in the east hand, so North would always be able to split and establish a spade trick for themselves. Declare utilizing those hearts and dummy that were established to pitch a couple of diamonds, but can now lead a diamond up. North goes up with the ace. South gets the club ace. And this is going to be the same 10 tricks we saw in the other room. But because East-West didn't reach game on their cards, I wonder how this is going to score. So final board for these guys, I'm sure they're going to drop from 98%, but still an 80% round in the final set might move them up the leaderboard. We have a couple of tables still in play, 3 of them. Let's tune into this final table as they're getting underway. We still have 4 minutes left in the round, with East opening a weak no trump on the first hand. There is an alert, but no explanation given. They probably gave the explanation to the table themselves. East-West have ended up in 3 diamonds. Uh-oh. Bit of a bidding accident here. So West transferred to spades. Oh, they announce it as Texas, but normally this is called a Jacoby transfer at the 2 level. The 3 club overcall is North. Oh no, we talked about this. It's very dangerous at the 2 level. It's even more dangerous at the 3 level. If North had gotten doubled in that contract, they might not have been too happy at this vulnerability, even at any vulnerability. But East-West then had an accident because East thought that 3 diamonds was a super accept in spades. And instead, West thought that their 3 diamonds might have been based on just a 6-card diamond suit that they opened a no trump with. So they missed out on their big spade fit, end up in this 3-3 diamond fit. They still have an awful lot of tricks, especially after that ace of clubs and a club lead. But I'm not sure this contract is going to make, and even if it does, they're not going to do nearly as well as the pairs that end up in a spade contract, whether it's a partial or game for the East-West side. So we'll head back out. Are there any other tables left in play? There is just the one. East-West have landed in 2 spades on this final hand. Looks like our start to the play was similar to one of the tables. Cashes the ace of hearts and then switches to a club. Goes around to the ace, but now South returned a heart, forcing Declare once. Declare ends up cashing the ace of spades. We've already kind of talked about how low spade to the queen might be a little bit better, but then you would have to worry about, well, if spades are 4-0, can I actually handle that? Maybe the answer is no. Cashes the king of spades, and Declare is going to be in excellent shape. I think maybe a little bit of a lazy play by Declare. You could try and be a little bit more proactive here about roughing the heart losers in the West hand before you pull second round of trumps. Say diamond to the king, heart rough, club to the king, heart rough, something like that. And then you pull a second round of trumps, and then you try and cash the club queen to say pitch a diamond. Something of that nature would be maybe a little bit more technically accurate. But with spades splitting, Declare just gets to knock out the diamond ace, king of clubs, heart rough, queen of clubs, pitch a diamond, cross rough the hand, and Declare is going to make the same 10 tricks that we've seen at basically every table. So getting into the final board of play, we will find the results shortly to the overall tournament, and I'm excited to see who took those top 3 positions. Declare does need to be a little bit careful about how they handle the play from here. The ace of diamonds could be offside, so you definitely want to unblock this club king, rough a heart back to your hand, queen of clubs to pitch a diamond, and then you basically just have a cross rough from there because you do have enough trumps to take care of all of your losers. So there's the club king unblock. Then needs to get back to the West hand by leading a heart. Looks like kind of staring this down. Not really seeing the full plan. Has about 30 seconds to figure it out. There's the heart. Will rough. Queen of clubs to pitch that diamond. And you can just kind of count up your trumps. You're still going to lose that diamond trick, which is okay. You're always going to lose that. But then you can rough both a diamond and a club with the queen and 9 of spades in the east hand. You can rough that queen of hearts with the 8 of spades. 2 spades is going to make 10 tricks. Gonna be a little bit disappointing for East-West that they didn't even investigate this game. But it did take a decent amount of good luck to be able to come home. So we should just see a claim on a cross rough, or even if the round ends a bit early, the tournament director can probably adjudicate this one, that there just are going to be 10 tricks. 7 tricks in, and the 3 spades that the declarer still has. Looks like declarer not very happy with whatever's happening, but yeah, it leads another diamond, so North can take the ace. And now we should see the claim. I think this is going to be our final table in play, though, so I will stick around and show off the final tournament results once we have concluded the action. I'll take this moment to make sure to remind you to leave a like on the video, drop a comment below the video, tell us about what your favorite hand was or your favorite moment of this stream, this event. Let us know if you want to play next time, because registration was free for the event overall. You could have entered with your favorite partner. And make sure to follow the channel. Subscribe on YouTube so that you can be notified anytime we host another one of these events. We do have Mink and Jorisk up in first with over a 70% game. That is massive after 18 boards. We have Penticus and DeFranco up here in second place. Leandro Ronderos and Tino Parv in third. And then falling just short of the overalls, Kavicha and Georgie in fourth. Thanks for tuning in. I hope you had a wonderful time watching the stream and following this this fast-paced event. I know that I always love covering the OCBL events on BridgeChamp because it's a bit of a faster-paced action than you normally get from watching a bunch of the VU graphs. Different pace of play, and we do get to see a bunch of excellent players making some very high-level decisions, but a lot to learn from as well. So thanks for hanging out and watching today. I hope that you all have a great day. Take care, and we will be back again in the future for some more OCBL events. Stay tuned.